I'm Sharon Brett Kelly, and this is the buzz of a hall filled with inventors at Fieldays last week. Here you can find a device that sits inside a cow's stomach and cuts methane emissions, a beef food bar, an app that helps farmers plan irrigation and disease control, a culvert snorkel, a gadget that removes plastic clips on kiwifruit vines, and much, much more. But today I'm meeting the engineer whose COVID creation has got the attention of local councils. Plus, an update on wool. It's been in the doldrums for so long, could it be turning a corner? I'm in a booth with the latest innovations there. First though,
Sticky.
Yeah, they are very sticky, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because these are about 3, 4, 5 years old.
Are they? So basically leather from kiwifruit.
The whole kiwi fruit.
This is the solution for wasted kiwi fruit that could end up as an Adidas shoe or Victoria Beckham handbag.
I am Chris Harper from Kiwi Fruit Leather Innovations. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
It is a mouthful, but it's kiwi fruit turned into leather.
Yes, indeed. So it's more precisely kiwi fruit byproduct turned into a leather. It all started about 4.5 years ago when Shelley, my partner in this business, son was working in the kiwi fruit vineyards.
Industry? Oh, yeah.
Picking up fruit and had a whole lot to bring home. And of course, there's only a certain amount of baking you can do with kiwi fruit. Now, Shelley, being a bit of a chemist herself, her last business was actually a makeup company she founded and also formulated in her kitchen, which is now, funnily enough, made in Milan. Put their science cap on and thought, hey, we can do this. So, yeah.
How?
A huge amount of trial and error, if the truth be known. So, we take the whole kiwi fruit, we blend it, we try to remove as much moisture as possible.
Including the skin?
Including the skin. The entirety of the kiwi fruit's used in the process. So, in our kitchen trials, we'll call them, it was a case of blending it, boiling it, trying to reduce the sugar and the moisture content as much as possible. And then it was adding things like natural waxes, natural rubbers, TPUs, which are like bioplastics and such. Over the years, we've got a little bit more sophisticated with what we're doing, and we've looked more at like espoxylated soybean oils, and this one here is with a soybean protein, for example. And we got to the point basically where we couldn't get the venture further in our kitchen. So we went through and got some government grants, mainly with the likes of BPA and AgMart. And we have now tasked Scion, which is a research company down in Rotorua, to take what we've started and our thinkings and our concepts and our formulations and see if we can actually have something that's a market viable product by November of this year.
November. And on your wall you have some pictures of some very stylish kiwi leather handbags, some boots and a seat, like a car seat or an airline seat. Is this what you're aiming for?
This is our vision board, yes. So it's been early days, but we've been already talking to the people like Adidas, BMW. Now, Shelley, having a fashion background, she's actually got a lot of relationships in that high-end fashion space. So we've also been talking to the likes of Kering, which is that Gucci style, upper end. We've been talking to Victoria Beckham about what she's doing. They're all very keen to see a sample from us in November.
In November?
Yep.
Because you've got some samples here on your table, and you just wouldn't know that was originally kiwi fruit.
No, and I mean, these are very much different iterations of what we've been doing. Most of these samples you see here are 2, 3, 4 years old. So there's a relative amount of durability, but they're very much not prototypes, they're very much conceptual ideas. So, yeah.
Right, so that's really not what the finished product's going to be.
Wouldn't have the durability, wouldn't have the the leather quality. Some of them we've backed with like a hemp and bamboo backing on them to give it a bit of tensile strength. Mm-hmm. But these are very much our ideas. Just a couple of idiots in a kitchen, basically.
Oh, I don't believe that. I mean, how do you get into the door of someone like Victoria Beckham? How do you even get them talking to you?
It was a door that Shelley'd already opened. So it's a conversation. She already knew the buyers. She's had her makeup on models that have been in the Victoria Beckham ecosphere.
Yeah.
So it was a case of just leveraging some of the people she already knew.
Okay, Shelley had the contacts, and that was
Shelley
really
had
hard.
the contacts.
Because, it sounds like a dream.
It's not so much a pinch yourself moment. It's like, what have we got ourselves into? Genuinely, this time last year, it was kind of a pet project in a kitchen. Look what we can do. And in the last 12 months, we've had a lot of media coverage. We've had a lot of publications look at us. We've had the likes of the Innovation awards take us seriously, and we were like, I think it's 150 applicants, and we were one of 5 that got here. So, what have we got ourselves into?
Yeah, I know, because once Scion can successfully develop the product by November, then the next step is what? Mass production.
There's a couple of steps there we need. Not necessarily mass production. There's probably a funding conversation to be had with somewhere along the lines. And then there's a pilot facility we need to come up with. So my background's chemical manufacturing. I understand plant material, I understand processes, which makes it a little bit easier. But we are going to have to find some space in the Tauranga region where we can, set up our first presses to get the moisture out of the kiwi fruit, our first kilns to dry the kiwi fruit to make the powder, and our first compounding area where we can actually make our secret sauce.
And will these products be made here? Could these boots, the handbags, the seats be made in New Zealand?
Certainly the prototype production that we have Q2 next year, certainly, and we'd be visited to give it to New Zealand designers. And going from what we're looking at with our current figures, we're probably going to produce up to 10,000 square metres. So not a huge volume, but 10,000 square metres will be available to purchase for New Zealand leather designers or manufacturers here.
Is there enough kiwi fruit waste for something like this?
There's more than enough kiwi fruit waste to go around. So we're dealing with one pack house in particular, Seeker, who have been a foundation partner with what we're doing. There's roughly about 10 million kgs through their pack house that they consider kiwi fruit byproduct, where it doesn't meet, it's either an ugly fruit, so it doesn't meet the cosmetic grade, or it's going to be bruised because it's grown next to another kiwi fruit. So 10 million kgs, that could make a lot of leather.
Do you like being here at Fieldays?
I've done a number of trade shows over the years, and sometimes it's hard to attract, the odd punter to talk to you. Being on this stand today, there's been a lot of interest. I don't think we'll get lunch for the next 4 days.
Are you going to get sales, though? That's surely what you're here for.
We're here for exposure today. So we're here to have conversations with the growers of the world. We're here to have conversations with anyone in the governmental space that may want to say, hey, fantastic, it's an innovation we can put our name behind. We're here just to get our name basically out there.
Well, you've got potentially 100,000 people coming here to Fieldays, so you'd hope that you'd get something out of it, wouldn't you?
Oh, we've already got enough out of it to warrant being here.
You have? Have you done some deals?
Well, not so much deals, but we've had a number of people who are in the space that would want to talk. We've got a few business cards, which we will be certainly following up on. But once we get that, that first MVP, that first marketable, viable sample from Scion in November, December, that's when this becomes a real business with some real international appeal.
Chris holds up one of the pieces of kiwi fruit leather spread out on the display table.
Yeah, so this is one of the ones that Scion's been working on. This is basically a pea protein, kiwi fruit, and a little bit of a plasticizer in there. So there's only really 3 ingredients. Once they add the full suite of about 20 different compounds, that's when it's going to start to look like and feel like a genuine leather product.
Okay.
Yeah. These are just toys within the kitchen. It's stuff we do while drinking wine. Genuinely, that's a lot of our innovation. The amount of blenders and pasta rollers that we've gone through. We've broken a few,
Pasta rollers,
yeah. The outputs are fantastic as well. I mean, because there's just such a plentiful biomass where it's just underutilised. It's a case of creating value of something. And I was just talking to one of the growers before. It's not a case of them now simply having to dispose of the waste or paying people to get rid of the waste, or if it goes to a pack house being charged to get rid of the waste. There's actually now a funding mechanism where they could sell it to us.
Just around the corner is a booth with a drone, a robot, and miniature barge.
My name is Jeffrey, surname Tao, T-O.
Tell me about Maki. Who are you?
So Maki is a technology/engineering company. So we started from start of COVID during lockdown, my wife getting sick of me being at home all the time. So after watching YouTube, I built an autonomous boat that mapped the local lake with the target or vision is cleaning the lake forever. But then I mapped the lake, put it on social media, we got a lot of attention. We got the contact from the council. And the council said, how do you do it?
Which council?
Waikato Regional Council. They asking me, how did I do it? I showed them the boat. They asked me, are you interested at mapping other lakes? I said, certainly. And since then, I learned a lot more about water quality, fresh water in New Zealand. What can we do? What should we do? What is possible? And after 3-4 years now, we have developed a water monitoring and sampling boat for them for more information about freshwater in the Waikato region.
So it's a freshwater, I guess, robot.
Yes, it's an autonomous boat. You can call it a robot. And not just freshwater now. After that, other people know us and we go into harbor, coastal area. So we then have to have a drone, underwater robot. We collect all the data, and because we're software developers too, we can put all the data in together. So it's not just a drone company, not just a boat company, we're just a technology autonomous vehicle company.
So the data kind of tells you what the health of the lake is or the harbour?
Yeah, traditionally we can collect the data using a stick. Let's say human go there, but it's one spot of the lake. It can't represent the whole lake. Later on they have an IoT like a buoy, but also like 5 spot, 10 spot. It does not represent the whole lake. With a boat like that, we can see the full picture, and the scientist can see where the pollution is from, how bad is it better on the west or better on the east. And with limited, we always got limited funding. Everyone has. We can target the worst area before, so it's best benefit for the cost.
Can you look at something like Kalupa? That's obviously a big problem in our harbours and in our ocean at the moment surrounding our islands. Is that something that you can look at?
Yeah, with technology, we potentially can. If you see the little ROV there, the underwater drone, with the camera, by using computer vision that we use for scanning and inspection, we can find out a lot that we couldn't see with other sensors before.
Will you do business here? Will you sell something here?
We less likely selling products, but we're selling our knowledge and services.
Who to?
Hopefully we can meet people who has a settling pond, like they want to see their water treatment plant. If they're a council scientist, of course they will know exactly what we do. If they live close to a coastal area, want to monitor their water, is it safe to swim? Is it safe for the seafood? Then we can do it. We can help with that.
We really worry about the quality of our lakes and our rivers and our harbours. What's your impression from what you've seen, the work that you've done?
As an engineer background, we first to identify how big the problem. With the boat, we know how bad are the problems. The next thing is finding solutions that can doing a sustainable way to help with the problem. How do we slow it down? I think the scientists at Waikato Regional Councils have done a lot of work to slow it down. But in order to reverse it, I think there's a lot more work, and I hope that with technology and innovation, we can help a little bit.
What is this thing here?
That's the boat.
What are you holding there?
These are the sensors there for the scientists we collect the data for the scientists.
Okay, so did they go on the boat?
Yeah, all this data go into that hub and through the antenna go to the cloud.
Wow. So let's go over to your boat. So it's like a miniature barge, or how would you describe it?
Some of the requirements of the boat, which means we have to go to places that human boats cannot go to. One of them is very shallow water, or places that you can't carry a big boat. A trailer can't go to, a 4-wheel drive can't go to. So you see the motors here can go to very shallow water.
Yeah.
With less than 200 mil of water, we can go and do our surveying or mapping. After that, this is fully custom built, so you can see the quality is very handmade.
Yeah. Did you make it?
Yes, we built it from scratch.
This is the thing that you made over lockdown?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah,
wow.
There's absolutely nothing before.
It's just like these tubes?
It's just PVC pipe.
PVC pipe?
Yeah.
And then like an aluminium tray?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good old Kiwi ingenuity, isn't it?
Councils have limited budget too, so we have to work within the budget to deliver the result. So we've got to be clever or creative to create solutions for it. We spend the money on, so this what I'm holding, worth more than 10K.
Okay, so that's your monitors, that's where the money is.
So where we cannot sacrifice the quality of the data, but where we can save money, we try our best.
Of course. Is there a chance that you'll go international with this, or have you already?
We haven't gone international yet, but ideally we would like to. I think there's a long way to go. We have more to learn. By knowing the industry more, we can be more specified in certain areas, so that once we learn that knowledge, I think we could potentially go internationally, because I think New Zealand is one of the countries that really care about environment, so that we have a lot of knowledge and scientists and people passionate about that. They can actually help us engineers to develop tools and equipment for them.
Right, do you love Fieldays? Have you been here before?
No, I haven't been here before. I've been to other conferences before, but Fieldays certainly is one of the busiest, if not the busiest.
Yeah, really worth being here, because I imagine it's a chunk of money to have a booth like this, is it?
Yeah, for us, especially as a small business, it's significant.
Yeah,
But
what do you have to pay for a booth here?
I don't know if Fieldays will allow me to say that.
But is it thousands?
It will be over 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really have to make it worth your while.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want to show to people what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it's, as a small business, every dollar counts.
Now to the story about wool.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. I'm sitting on an all-wool couch surrounded by everything woolen.
I'm Angus Hansen from Wisewool, and I'm operations manager and co-founder.
This place here is a group of wool producers
Yep.
or wool product companies.
Yep. Spotlight on the wool sector, called
Yeah.
It's Wool, brought together by Wool Impact and Campaign for Wool, who are our governing bodies of the industry, and funded and helped by MPI, who have helped majority of the businesses in here with their research and development and finding their end products and commercialising them.
How are things going? Because I've done a few podcasts, I feel, in the last few years about how tough it is for the wool industry, for wool growers. What's it like at the moment?
I think I say this from a completely unbiased position, but I don't think I can be completely unbiased. It has definitely turned a corner. We source wool from about 300 farms in the Tairawhiti region, which is around about 3 million kilos. We use a portion of that for Wisewool, which is value added, and we sell our products mainly into bedding and furniture, which we're sitting on now globally. Yeah, what we're doing at the moment, we are paying our farmers more than market, so 50 cents above market value for every clip they sell, and farmers are making money off their wool again. So I think bringing it back round, yeah, wool has been in a tough spot for actually quite a long time, and it's finally feel like the groundswell of us making changes, adding value. Farmers are now making money off their wool again.
So tell me, what is it? What is it that's made you so...
Yeah, I think it's when we initially started, so we've been in the wool industry since 1894, my family. We were always wool brokers and merchants, and 3 years ago we started Wisewool when we realised we have to add value and pay the farmer more. And so when we first started the journey, the biggest query from farmers was, what are you guys actually doing? We were able to say that we are producing, non-woven textiles for furniture and bedding, but what is the other players of the industry doing? And all you got to do is look around this room, and there's about 18 brands in this little section who are all adding value to New Zealand wool. That's the biggest difference, I think.
What, that you've come together and said, this is what we do?
We all specialise in our own little commercial spaces, but we also all have the same desired goal of we have to add value to New Zealand wool, otherwise there will be no wool to add value to.
So it's really about marketing, is it?
Yep, to a point. Also, wool's biggest competitor is synthetic, obviously, and it's about re-educating people about the attributes of wool and how it's so easy to look at the cost factor and go, it might be slightly more expensive, but what are the trade-offs, right? It's antimicrobial, it is fire resistant, it is eco-friendly, it'll biodegrade, all of those things that synthetic cannot do. Re-educating consumers and brands that having wool within their products is a great thing.
So the wool growers, the sheep farmers, they're feeling completely different about things, are they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's still a long way to go, being that wool farmers are only just profitable now from the rise in the wool price. Now that's partly, we can't claim all the glory there, that's partly because of the lack of supply of wool, because sheep numbers have dropped a bit. But I think it's going to hit a happy medium, and it's not too far away, where we can kind of really reshuffle the industry a bit, and the more wool that we add value to and not just ship as a raw commodity, the better. So wool growers, definitely our farmers, they're all very positive.
What are you hearing from people here today? What are people telling you?
It's a buzz. This is my third year in a row here at Fieldays. Our first year with a real spotlight on wool here on the stand, and people are loving it. We're not actually allowed to sell anything in this pavilion, But we've had some online sales through all of the different brands here that people want wool and they want what we're making, and they're prepared to pay slightly more for a premium product.
Sometimes it's more than slightly more though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. However, the rise in petroleum prices, because obviously synthetics are petrochemicals, right? So they're made from oil-derived stuff. So the prices, like in this furniture piece we're sitting on, for example, traditionally there's foam in here, but this is 100% wool and timber in here. So we've replaced the foam component because the foam component was actually comparative in cost to the amount of wool that's in here and how it's manufactured. So that is a thing of the past. I mean, you will specialise in different areas where things are more expensive. Those are the trade-offs.
In this space, we've got woolen lampshades, we've got woolen cushions, bean bags, this couch, jumpers, bags, tennis balls, we mustn't forget that. So really what you're doing is showing the versatility of wool.
Absolutely. So when we say wool, I think we need to be clear about this. We're talking about strong wool, which is about 85% of New Zealand's production. The rest is merino and mid-micron. So merino's done really well, and basically that's off the back of Icebreaker, right? They branded it really well. They made perfect products. Strong wool's been forgotten about, and there's no reason it should have, because the only area that fine wool excels over strong wool is the feel of it, the fineness, the micron. In terms of durability, strong wool will outperform fine wool and a lot of synthetics, so it is so versatile, durable across so many different industries.
Any idea money-wise how much better off the industry is worth now than say 3 years ago?
Oh, that's a tough question. This actually might be the first time we've publicly said this, but I can only speak for Wise Wool ourselves because we pay farmers more above market value. So since our inception, we've paid just under $500,000 on top of market value to farmers for wool so that we can add value to it.
You're talking about this year?
No, in the last three.
In the last 3 years, okay. That's a good news story.
Yes, yeah.
That's it for today. The Detail is a newsroom production supported by RNZ and NZ On Air. Today's episode was produced by Davina Zimmer and Gwen McClure and engineered by Rangi Powick. Thanks to Jeffrey Toe, Angus Hansen and Chris Harper. I'm Sharon Brett Kelly. Mā te wā.